Like, what about me? I'll bet you have. I know I have many times. What about me? And in fact, that may be one of the more common words that we use, whether out loud or simply in our heads. Me. What about me? And in this day of texting, we have a lot of abbreviations, don't we? For example, one of the more common ones is OMG, which stands for Oh My God. And that can mean all sorts of different things. But what about the word me? M-E. What does that mean? Well, it came to me about a week or so ago that what that really means, M-E, is my expression of God. My expression of God. For in the Bible, we read that each one of us were created in the image and likeness of God, and he saw that all he had made was very good. So if we were created in that goodness and that perfection, what about me? Am I expressing the God that is in me the way I should? Not. It's something to think about because we always have the choice. It's not a matter of the things that happen to us or the people that say things to us, as much as it is a matter of expressing the God within us, the God that is seeking expression through us. What about me? What about my expression of the God within? One of my favorite affirmations is be still and know I am in the flow. The flow of God's goodness, the flow of God's love, the flow of God's healing, the flow of God's perfection. Am I saying my ego is blown out of proportion? Well, the word ego, as many people have said, stands for edging God out. And we can't really do that, but in our minds we can. In our minds, we can edge God out and think that, please, Father, Mother God, I'd rather do it myself. Did you ever think that way? I know I have. And do we have a choice? Absolutely. We are given one of the greatest gifts of all, the power of free choice. We can choose what we think about. We can choose what we feel. We can choose how we respond to somebody who says something to us. We can choose how we respond to any situation that comes up in our life. It's our choice. No, I realize we don't get a choice as to what people say to us or what they do to us or what situations come up at work or at home or at play or whatever. And we do have the choice about how we respond to that. You know, one of the very valuable life lessons for me was the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is you hit me, I'll hit you back. Responding is you hit me, how do I want to respond to that? And it doesn't take a huge amount of time. In fact, I have found, for me at least, that what works is just to take a deep breath. And in that few seconds that I take that deep breath, I get to choose how I'm going to respond to this situation. Do I want to be my expression of God, or do I want to be a reactor? Do I want to show them I'm smarter than they are, or bigger than they are, or meaner than they are? Or do I want to express God's love? It's my choice, and it's your choice as well. We may not think we have any choices in life. In fact, people, many of them, go about their lives whining and complaining, oh, life is so tough on me. Life is so hard. People are so mean to me. You ever feel like that? Maybe you didn't say it out loud, but did you ever feel like that inside? I know I have. And that's when I have to remind myself that life is a choice. I always have a choice. For many years, I taught business trainings around the country. And one of the things I taught my students is everything in life is a choice, with one exception. You have to breathe or you have to die. But even that is a choice in some extent, because your physical body may die, but we read over and over again in the Bible that life is eternal. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, eternal doesn't mean 70 or 80 or 90 years or even 100 years. Eternal means just that, eternal. See, in pre-Columbus times, people thought you got out on the ocean and you sailed along, and if you went too far, you would go over the edge and disappear into oblivion. Columbus proved them wrong on that. He showed that the world was round, that you can continually sail around the world as much as you want. And eternal life, to me, means the same thing. Yes, our physical bodies may deteriorate and die, but do we die? The essence of who we are? I don't think so. I think the essence of who we are did not begin at our birth, and it doesn't end with the physical bodies dying. That it has been going on for a long time, and it will go on for a long time to come. When I was a practicing Unity minister for a number of years, serving churches around the country, from time to time I would have someone come to me for counseling. And occasionally, not often, but occasionally, they would confess to me that they had been contemplating suicide. My response to that was probably the last response they were expecting from their minister. I'd say, then go ahead and do it. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and end your life. And before you do, consider this. Everything you experienced in this life that was difficult for you, if you postponed dealing with it, put it off, did it become easier or more difficult? Well, of course, it became more difficult the longer you postponed dealing with something, because you built up a lot of more negative feelings about it. And I said the same thing can happen in eternal life. The longer you postpone dealing with a situation, whether it's in this lifetime or another lifetime, the more difficult it's going to be. So if you want to make dealing with this problem as you perceive it more difficult, then go ahead. I never lost a single soul to suicide after that counseling session. Why? Because we realize that life is eternal. This is one classroom we go to in life school. We're continually learning about life. We're continually learning how to be the expression of God we were created to be. We're continually learning to, as my friend Eddie Watkins Jr., who does very positive spiritual music as an entertainer, one of his songs is entitled, "Get Out the Way and Let God Do Its Thing." The more we learn to follow Eddie's direction there and get out the way and let God do its thing, the more we find our lives begin to harmonize. The more we find our lives begin to be more peaceful. The more we find that we're able to deal confidently and comfortably with situations that used to baffle us or used to frustrate us or used to make us angry, or at least we claimed they made us angry. Actually, anger is never brought on by someone or something else. It always happens within me. So when we realize and acknowledge that all that we feel, all that we experience, all that we respond to starts within us. The more we realize we have all sorts of choices in life, and we can choose those things that work for us, or we can choose those things that we can learn from. You see, I don't think anything is a bad experience. If it doesn't move me in the direction I wanted to move, it's a learning experience. I learned from that. For example, do you remember when you were a little kid and first learned to ride a bicycle? That was quite an experience for me. I don't know about you, but I fell off a number of times before I learned to balance myself and ride that bicycle. But I didn't say, oh, bicycles are no good. Oh, no one should ever ride a bicycle. They're mean. They've got it in for me. No, I simply got back on and started pedaling again. And life is kind of like that as well. We can get back on that bicycle and start pedaling again, because if we didn't get the outcome that we wanted, if we didn't get the situation resolved the way we wanted it to, it's an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for learning. Life is just full of opportunities, and we have a choice about how we respond to those opportunities. And so when we ask ourselves mentally or even out loud, what about me? What we're really saying is, what about my expression of God within me? What about my expression? How am I expressing the God that is working through me and in me? It's a question to ponder. And a question that might even change your life. I know it has mine. The more I remind myself of this, that I am a beautiful, loving expression of God, simply learning to cooperate with that expression every day in every way, the more my life becomes the way I would like it to be. So when you ask yourself, what about me? Remember, you're asking yourself, what about my expression of God? Am I expressing God the way I want to? That's up to you.